You know what I've come to the conclusion of? Some men will never treat you right because he's attracted to hoish women. These are typically the men that were deep in love with women who cheated on them constantly or was in a toxic relationship where they cheated back and forth on each other. And the good girls he encountered, he messed over them constantly because the good girl is not what he truly wants. After a while, he sees the good girl as boring because she doesn't bring him any problems, and he loves the thrill of feeling unwanted and mistreated. And he knows in today's world it's unacceptable to wife a hoe or he get clowned for it, which is why he uses good girls for the image of relationship publicly while privately still dealing with hoes. This is why a lot of men claim they don't like hoes but will ruin their happy relationship for one. Free game, ladies.
Welcome back to the Black Tea Podcast, everyone. We've all seen it, heard it, maybe even experienced it. The confusion around relationships, particularly the perceived preference some men have for what some might call hoes over good women. Now, before we get into it, let's clarify. We are coming from a place of Christian values, and that shapes how we understand this issue. The sources we've reviewed paint a concerning picture. It's a narrative where good, virtuous women seem to be overlooked, while women who present themselves in a less modest way are seen as more attractive. And this isn't just about attraction, it's about what men are choosing to pursue and invest in. We see a pattern where men claim to want a good woman, a woman of God, but their actions tell a different story. They might marry the good girl, but then they seek out the bad girl for excitement and thrill. This is a major problem.
Nice girls finish last, okay? If you are too nice, if you are too giving, if you put other people's needs before your own, especially a man, you're gonna finish last, okay? You're not gonna get the man. He's gonna end up leaving you and cheating on you or treating you like trash. You're not gonna get what you want because you're too nice, okay? And don't listen to the men on these comments. All they want is an easy pushover that they can take advantage of. You've seen their comments. Oh, I just take advantage of her, hit it and quit it and leave. So when you make it a challenge to them, A, you're going to get rid of the people who are not potential long-term partners. B, you're only going to get the attention of people who take you seriously and respect you, okay? C, you're not going to get taken advantage of, okay? So using common sense, you should know that being a pushover, being a doormat, being too nice and giving to someone is not the answer. Okay, ladies, I don't care what you've been told, what you haven't been told. Think about this. Every woman that your man runs back to and leaves you for is bitch. Okay? Why? Because that's what men like. They won't ever admit it, but that's what they like. Okay? They don't like the good girl. It gets boring after about a month. Then they're ready for something exciting, something challenging, something that will keep them on the edge of their seats, something that they can actually work for. Okay? If you give everything up too easy, oh, I love you, I'll do whatever you want. After about a month, that gets old, and then he's off to the next one. Okay? So don't do it. Don't cook, don't wash dishes, don't do any of that. Nice girls finish last.
The deception. This behavior is rooted in a deception. Men are being told and are believing that the good girl is boring, easy to control, doormat, as some have said. They think a woman who upholds biblical values is somehow less desirable. This is not how God designed relationships. A woman's worth is not in how challenging or exciting she is to pursue, but in her inherent dignity as a child of God. The idolatry of the flesh. This chase after the hoe often stems from a deep-seated issue of idolatry of the flesh. It is a focus on immediate gratification over genuine connection. Men are being drawn to the visual and the immediate, neglecting the long-term fulfillment that comes from a relationship built on trust, faith, and shared values. This is a worldly trap, not a path to a godly union. When a man prioritizes a woman's outward appearance and the thrill she provides over her character and spiritual depth, he's not seeking God's best for himself. The misuse of women. It's disheartening to see how these men use women. The good girl is often seen as someone to provide comfort and care, while the hoe is for excitement and pleasure. This objectification is not love, it's selfish desire. It devalues women. Both types of women in this scenario are being mistreated. One by being taken for granted, the other by being used for selfish purposes. This is a corruption of the biblical view of women as valuable partners, co-heirs in Christ. The role of boundaries. The lack of boundaries plays a key role in this cycle. Good women, often taught to be meek and submissive, find themselves walked over. They fear asking for their needs to be met, fearing they'll be seen as gold diggers or bad girls. This is not about being a pushover. The Bible actually calls us to discernment and to use wisdom in all our interactions. There is a difference between a godly submissiveness and being a doormat.
Mentality of women being able to finesse men wouldn't happen if men kept their standards high with the women they invest in. There's no perks for being a good woman in this day and age. There's no market for it. But you be a woman that doesn't show her body, isn't out in the club, doesn't get drunk, doesn't do this, doesn't dance, doesn't do all of these things. Or inbox is like tumbleweed. That's what your inbox will look like. If the standards of promiscuity were like, you're promiscuous, I ain't putting a penny in you, then there would be no finessing. It would be impossible. But if strippers are making 10K a night, if girls with OnlyFans are making 10K a day, if a girl posts a thirst trap and gets flown out to Dubai, where are we going to direct women?
Ladies, it's true. Men love bitches. They fall in love with bitches. I'm serious. You think I'm joking? I'm not. Because here's what you're not understanding. You could give a guy wifey qualities from the jump. You could be the nice, affectionate girl. You know, I'm so sweet. I'm over all the time. What do you need, honey? You need a foot rub? You need this, need that? Let me tell you something. That's fun, and a guy's going to accept that, and he's going to roll with that. But what is he going to do? He's going to chew you up. He's going to spit you out, and he's going to say, hey, thanks for that. That was really nice. But there's just no chemistry. There's that extra feeling, that extra mojo that I needed in the relationship. And how many times that happened to you, girls? Probably all the time. What you don't get is that we want to turn bitches into wifey type. That's what we truly want. That's who we're really going to fall in love with. The girl that makes it hard, the girl that's independent, the girl that's doing her own shit, the girl that knows her own value, the girl that does not allow us in very quickly, the girl that takes her time and makes sure that we're not fucking around. That's the girl that we're going to fall in love with. Ladies, it's true.
Every man like a bad woman and a bitch inside the house. I repeat, every man likes bad girls. Don't let no man deceive you. Every man like a bad woman. When I say bad woman in the bedroom, a bad woman in the kitchen. Let me tell you something. If you are not bad in the house, your husband or your man is going to end up being with a bad woman outside. There must be some level of ashawo vibes, some level of seduction, some level of attraction. Do you know you must even know how to work seductively? Seduce your man. Finish him at home. Don't be kind to him. When I say don't be kind to him sexually. Finish him. Give him the best. Because many of you behave like a flayful. You behave as if, see, it is good for you to be cultured as a woman. I agree. But your culture is to be outside. Represent your husband well outside. Culture your children. But when it comes to your man, finish him in the bedroom. Finish him in the parlor. Finish him in the room. Finish him in the kitchen. Why is that? Most people just like to make love only in the bedroom. Add spices to your love life. What happened to the kitchen? What happened to the bedroom? I mean, to the corridor. What happened to the swimming pool? What happened to the parlor? What happened to the even the garage? What happened to inside the car? I know some people look at me now. What kind of pastor in this one? In this one, a pastor? No, I'm a reverend father. To whom brain is given, sense is expected. Every man like a bad girl. Don't let them deceive you. It is what it is.
So, what do we do about this? How do we, as Christians, navigate these troubled waters? First, we must teach our young men the true value of a godly woman, a woman who fears the Lord, whose character shines from within. Proverbs 31:30. We need to instill in them the understanding that true beauty is not just skin deep. We need to help them see that a strong, independent woman who knows her worth is not a threat, but a partner who will help him grow in faith and in life. Second, women need to know their worth in Christ. You are not defined by whether you are considered a good girl or a bad girl by the world's standards. You are defined by God, who loves you unconditionally. It's okay to have boundaries. It is good and healthy to have healthy boundaries. building godly relationships. We must actively choose to build relationships on biblical principles. This means mutual respect, love, service, and a shared devotion to Christ. Ephesians 5:25. It means not settling for less than what God has called you to, in terms of the love and affection you receive and the type of man that you settle for. Men, this means being the spiritual leaders God has called you to be. Pursue holiness, invest in your walk with God. Treat women with honor and respect as co-heirs in Christ, 1 Peter 3:7. Women, this means knowing your worth in Christ and refusing to settle for less than a man who honors God and cherishes you as God does. Do not compromise on your values. Breaking the cycle. We need to break this destructive cycle by being the light in the darkness. This means holding each other accountable. We should never engage in slut-shaming or tearing each other down, whether publicly or privately. Instead, we need to support each other and lovingly encourage each other to live according to God's standards. This is not an easy battle, but with God's help, we can change the narrative. We must raise our children, both sons and daughters, to understand God's vision for relationships, one built on love, respect, and a shared devotion to Christ. Let's choose to honor God in all that we do, including our relationships. Let's commit to being the change we wish to see in the world. Thank you for tuning in to the Black Tea Podcast, and I'll see you next time.